Hey guys, how you guys doing? You guys doing good? How is everybody feeling for the end of the semester? It is crazy we've gotten this far, guys. It truly is. Guys, in case you don't know me, my name is Estrada, and
Who are you?
I'm a junior in Elliott House studying applied math.
There you are.
Yeah, man, I'm getting a lot of woos today. Guys, so let me just dive in. So as I was thinking about my testimony, it was really hard to separate my testimony from y'all, just y'all in general. You guys have been an incredible grace, incredible joy inside of my life. And to be honest, it's only been 2.5 years. I love calling y'all friends. I love getting to know each and every one of y'all, and just traveling like this journey with y'all. It's kind of crazy. Every time I meet somebody, or like for like a year at most, like at least, everybody becomes a master of imitation of me. Like it's incredible. It's uncanny, and it shakes me truly. From like all the phrases I didn't know I used, from what do you call it to fantastic. I truly don't know how you guys do it. It's crazy, you know. And it's only been 2.5 years. There is somebody, taking a sidestep on that. There is somebody I have known for more than 2.5 years. No, in all seriousness, there is somebody else I've known for more than 17 years in my life. And I'm honestly incredibly blessed to have known this person for so long. As many of y'all guessed, it's Jesus. It's not that hard. But I am so incredibly grateful to know this person. It has been an incredible walk from the very beginning. And even though there have been a lot of tough situations inside of my life, I've always seen his hand at work. I've been able to go through many hills and valleys. I've seen the Lord acting as both a provider and a shepherd inside of my life. And I truly consider it such a blessing to know him. The more and more I discover about Jesus, and the more and more I get to know him, the more and more I fall in love with him. See, so I started knowing Jesus from an early age as a provider. My parents taught me about Jesus, and every single day I remember praying for him to provide on a daily basis. You see, my parents were pastors / missionaries that came from Guatemala. They sold everything that they had in Guatemala and came over to the States after being called by God and having been offered a position here in the States. They came full hearts ready to serve the immigrant families here. Unfortunately, due to some bad circumstances, we were left stranded here, and trouble ensued. We were left in financial balance. And so the first few years of knowing Jesus, it was my parents telling me about how great he was, sharing stories with me about him, and praying, and seeing how he constantly was provided for us on a daily basis. I'm so excited to say I never went a day hungry, even though I know a lot of people that did. And I'm incredibly grateful that I was able to go through those hard times. You know, he continued to provide, not just in that area in my life, but he continued to provide both academically, socially, and even in my family. It was truly a blessing to know him during that time. And as I went on inside of my life, I got to know a much beautiful part of Jesus as a shepherd in my life. You see, growing up, I was a pastor's kid, and I tended to lock a lot of people out. When I came onto campus, I remember being shattered completely, emotionally, academically. It was truly a hard time for me. I had made a vow from a very early age that I would never, ever leave my parents. We had gone through so many struggles together. I felt it was my calling to stay with my parents and help immigrant communities in any way possible. And so getting the chance to come here to Harvard, everybody pushed me to come, and I came, and I was shattered. I remember living the first few years here in complete guilt and shame, to be honest. The guilt of me being here completely destroyed me. And that reflected inside of my academics. which just drove it even further because I felt so shameful because I knew I could be a lot better than I was doing at academics, but how could I handle this guilt? And it just pressed on me. Jesus acts in an incredible way by using people that are willing to serve. And that's where HCFA came in for me in my life. You see, I never had anybody that wanted to press in on my life, that wanted to know me, that wanted to get the chance to like actually love me throughout all the struggles in life. And as HCFA came in and I knew different members, I constantly was surprised about how much people were willing to love. And it was just strange. I had always been that person to everybody else. Jesus provided for me, and it was just crazy to see how God used y'all inside of my life. This led me to start reading the Bible even further. I had always known Jesus as a provider, but I had never known who this Jesus was. See, I felt like I just begun to scratch the surface. I started opening my Bible up a lot more than often. And every time I wanted to find something wrong with Jesus, every time I thought that his love wasn't deeper, the Bible, just every single page, seemed to scream out his love and his mercy and his kindness. I never knew God was so patient. I never knew God loved so much. And even though I had so many mistakes, it just didn't make any sense. And it just led me to love him more and more. You know, I find it crazy, the journey that I've been on. And though I've left out a lot of things, I really have, it's truly been a blessing to know about Jesus in such an incredible way as both a provider and a shepherd. One of the stories that really hit me in my life was a whole chapter. It was Luke 15. And there, Jesus shares 3 different parables. He shares, the last one being the most popular, the prodigal son. To me, I felt like I'd already read this passage 1 billion times when God started placing this in my mind. But the more and more I read it, the more and more I learned about his love. I invite you, I invite you, if you don't know this Jesus, or maybe you don't know how patient he is, or maybe you have this conception in your mind that he's very mean or very, very hurtful or doesn't want the best for you, I dare you to explore just how deep his love goes. It truly has impacted my life. It wouldn't have been for my parents, and it wouldn't have been for other people telling me how great he was. I would not have found him independently. See, Jesus is always a person that seeks after you. And I'm incredibly grateful to say, man, I'm so glad to be found in him. Thank you guys.